Why is it so difficult and challenging to self-observe ourselves in our regular day-to-day life? And really, what's the importance around this? Because you may hear in the spiritual space, no matter what spiritual tradition or religious faith, uh, mainly found obviously in the esoteric teachings, not so much in the exoteric, which is the public teachings, but the reason why self-observation is so vital when it comes to the spiritual path and having spiritual progress and on your ascension journey is we have to get to know ourselves, right? We have to know thyself. And how is it possible for us to know ourselves when we're constantly reacting mechanically to life? If you consider the wheel of samskara, right? It's like the cyclical nature of all beings, all things in life. And we in fact are of the human kingdom, the humanoid kingdom. And we are perpetually going through a cycle, through different lives, having different experiences, different levels of life, different levels of being. Whether that be if you're someone who, believes in reincarnation, right? And the transmigration of the soul, which is just, again, it's that cycle of life, that cycle of constant becoming and evolving and then going through a process of devolving. So this relates to self-observation in the way that when you are embarking on a path towards self-mastery, without the act and the technique of self-observation, how are we simply going to overcome our vices, our prejudices, our egos, our defects? We're filled with them. And, it's unfortunate because this information isn't going to be, not only is it not going to be accepted by many or most, it's oftentimes going to be rejected because the very thing within us that rejects this is a particular defect or an ego. This is what consists of 97% of who we think we are. It's our unconsciousness. It's our subconsciousness, right? The infraconsciousness. It is these elements, these infrahuman elements. These desires is another word in different spiritual traditions as well. And this is what really constitutes our day-to-day life. Whether that be addictions, bad behavior, poor decisions overall, not virtues, but vices, and things that we indulge in, right? There's something within us that pulls us and draws us into this in order for that to gain more energy, to remain alive and, feeding off of our energy. And this is, in different spiritual traditions, is the ego or aggregates or samskaras. And it's so vital to be able to self-observe ourselves, to be able to observe our inner world. So no matter what the situation is, whether we're communicating with a friend, we're in a different environment, we're at home, it's very difficult to be able to have this sense of awareness and be able to maintain this as much as you possibly can throughout the day, because again, we are largely unconscious. And what this predominantly means is it's going to be like essentially you are going to battle with yourself, because it's known in Gnosis that we only have up to 3% on average of awakened consciousness. And this 3% really allows us to become more self-aware of ourselves. And when I mean self-observation, that has to do with, your thoughts, your emotions, your habitual patterns, your beliefs, things like this. And constantly being in a state of questioning these sorts of phenomena in our life. And when you begin to do this, you begin to spot these defects or these errors or these egos within us. And then when you're able to comprehend and work through these, what lies on the other side is actually freedom, fulfillment. Because these egos or some scars, they trap consciousness, our consciousness. And this is really related to our state of mind, our state of being. I mean, people always talk about an afterlife or a quote unquote hell that may exist. And although it may exist physically, it's also important to realize it's here, it's now. The majority of us exist in that because we're just overrun by our own negativity inside. And to be able to transcend and to work through these issues, we have to get to know ourselves. We have to be able to really build that muscle that is self-observation and ultimately become a better version of ourselves. It leads us closer to mastery. I see self-mastery as not only, the physicality, right? Your physical body. Is your physical body fit? Is it healthy? Is it strong? Is it capable? But also considering your mental states, as well as the emotional and the spiritual as well. It's really taking into account all aspects of our being and then working in harmony with one another, leading to ascension, leading to mastery. It's a very deep subject, but what I've found so far on my journey is that the beginning, the foundation, is really being objectively aware of our internal states of being, how we feel on a regular basis, what triggers us in life. That's a big one. Triggers are huge because this trigger isn't your truth. It isn't your true being. It's our conditioned state of mind. This has been influenced, of course, in this life, but it's also been influenced in previous lives as well. And that goes back to what I was saying about the wheel. It's really a wheel of suffering. And in order to get off of this, we have to know ourselves. We have to comprehend these aspects of our mind that keep us trapped, that keep us in this sort of low state or a state of suffering. And so it's just really important to begin with self-observation. And this is really why it's so important, and something I'm going to speak on more in the future as well. Because if you can get this right, you'll be absolutely astounded by the things that you never thought imaginable that was within yourself, because you were just oblivious to it. You weren't aware. You weren't paying attention before. So with all of this being said, we truly hope you got value from this video. If you in fact did, what we would like for you to do is just to hit the like button, share this video, and comment below letting us know what you really gained from the video as well. We'd like to hear your thoughts on that. With that being said, we'll speak very soon.